This is Multiplaying, episode 16 on November 20th, 2009.
Everybody online, looking good.
A companion podcast to the collaborative blog and gaming community that's playing as life allows. This is Multiplaying.
Well, let's start the insanity.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
And this is Multiplaying, and today on the show we have Jason.
Hello.
And Steve.
Hey.
And I'm Shannon. And this is Multiplaying, like I said. And Jason, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking, it's called some weird beer that you got me. It's called...
Can you say it?
Delirium Noel. Yeah, it's from Belgium. I don't really say. It's kind of a nondescript, like, weird bottle.
It's in a big ceramic bottle. It was like $10 for this one bottle of beer.
Wow.
And the top it looked like a champagne thing where I had to undo it. It had a cork in it. And it's got pigs with Christmas hats on it. So you know it's good. And it's weird. I have
I thought they were pink elephants.
Oh, yeah, they are elephants.
Yeah, they're pink.
I just saw them. I just looked at them and saw they were pink and thought they were pigs. But yeah, and they're pulling Santa's sleigh for some reason.
Oh, it's a good time.
So yeah, you know this is gonna be good. And it's weird. I have like this $10 bottle of beer in my refrigerator and Pabst Blue Ribbon.
It's upsetting the balance of the fridge.
Yeah, I don't know. When I close the fridge door, I hear a bunch of noise in there. Something's going on. When I open, everything's cool. So that's what I'm drinking. What have I been playing?
That's what I was just going to ask.
Okay, well, I'll answer.
Awesome.
Been playing some Lord of the Rings online.
What?
Yeah, they had a free trial going. Or come back, for a free week. And they were offering some subscription specials and haven't had a ton of time to play a lot of stuff. And Ion's getting to be a lot of grinding, so I figured when I did play, I would check that out for a week. I remembered I've always liked that game. It's always been an MMO that I've really enjoyed how they implemented things. I just never really played for a long time, probably because none of my friends have really played for a long time. But during the free week, I really liked it, and I haven't played since before they added the Moria classes, and I checked out one of the classes from last year, and I love it so far. So I've been playing that, and I re-upped just to mess around with. I won't be playing a ton of it, but I've been playing that. I've also been playing some EA Active More Workouts, I think is the name of it, which is a catchy name. The marketing nailed it.
More Workouts.
Yeah, that's what it's called. And I did the first EA Active pretty religiously, right up till the week before this came out, because I kind of knew this was coming. I passed like 20,000 calories burned, and I did it. I don't think I missed many days doing it, and I really like that a lot more than Wii Fit, just because it's more regimented. I think we've talked about it before. It actually you feel like it has more structure and guidance, and Wii Fit you just kind of play and you pick what you want to do. This tells you exactly what to do, which this one works more on core stuff. So there's a lot of sit-up type stuff, and the first one didn't do any of that stuff. So the first one I didn't really lose. I maybe lost 5 to 10 pounds, kind of fluctuated in there, but I didn't sweat when I ate anymore. So that was kind of cool. And this one seems to be targeting a different area, and it's pretty cool. They do some inventive stuff with the Wiimote and stuff, and this one's kind of weird. A lot of the stuff in this, you have like a warm-up and cool-down period where you don't use the Wiimote or nunchuck at all. It's just like, hey, do this, and it tells you. It just like kind of trusts you're doing it, yeah.
Oh, really? It doesn't have any way of tracking that you're performing any motion?
No, not in that stuff. And it's pretty just, it's a lot of stretches and to get you warmed up. And as soon as you warm up, it does track you. And the tracking, I got to say, is a lot better in this one than the first one. And it does some pretty inventive stuff. It combines stuff where in the first one it would have had them out as separate ones. So like they have one that's called some sort of running, and you'll run, but every like a quarter of the way through you'll stop and you'll do some exercise that's kind of like squats jumps, but it'll be like you're on a raft and you have to jump up or jump down so you don't get hit, or you have to like jump onto a peg in the water and keep jumping and then hold it. So kind of I can't remember what they call it, but water jumping or something.
Yeah.
But they kind of combine it that way, which is kind of cool. So even though the workouts are a little bit longer, they don't feel as long to me yet.
Does it? I mean, the first one didn't seem to use the Wii balance board a whole lot. It did to a degree, but it mostly just relied on the Wii Wiimote and the nunchuck. I mean, does this one use it anymore?
I really don't know. It's always optional in both of them, and I have the balance board. I've never tried it in any of them. It's kind of a pain to get out, and I just got used to doing it without it. So
right, that was the thing when I was doing it. I would get the balance board out and say, "Yeah, I got the balance board." It would read it. There was some days that it would use it for one exercise. There were some days that would use it for no exercises. So it was like, why am I getting this damn thing out?
Yeah,
it's not going to be used. So
that's kind of what I saw. As soon as I saw in the first one that it didn't use it for everyone, I was just like, I'm not going to go get it out. So I'm not really sure in this one. I kind of wish this one used the Wii Motion Plus, just because you wonder what the options are for that, or what they could do with that. And I think Wii Fit Plus uses it, but I haven't picked that up.
That's the next title. EA Active Even More Workouts Plus.
Plus, yeah. Plus more, which I'd probably buy. But I like this. It's pretty cool. It's kind of exercising different muscles than the first one did, so I'm actually getting sore again. I remember the first one, I was getting not too bad, but kind of sore. But after a while, I could do them kind of without even breaking a sweat on the more difficult settings. And this one's kind of kicking my butt. I'm on medium right now, and then I'll kick it up to whatever the next one is. Cool. But it's more of a 6-week session versus the first one was a 4-week. And I kind of got disappointed because as soon as I finished the first 4 weeks on the first one, it just repeated it over and over. So I must have did that one like 5 or 6 times. So I'm hoping this one changes it up a little bit more. But other than that, I think that's all I've been playing. I've been dicking around in Dragon Age and things, but
cool. That's
about it. Shannon, what you been playing?
I got out the EA Active thing as well. I have not participated in the original EA Active in quite a while, and this kind of inspired me to check it out. So it has kicked my butt. My legs hurt, my arms hurt. I had to do push-ups. Like the first one didn't make you do push-ups, and yeah, this one makes you do push-ups, and I'm not really a push-up type of person.
Does this one have any new trainers, or is it still the same 2 people?
I think
they look different.
The girl is the same,
but the voice is the same. Yeah.
Yeah. The guy looks different, but I haven't listened to him. Hopefully, he's not a d-bag like in the first one.
The guy was such an ass in the first one. I won't turn him on.
Well, I was going to ask if the girl's gotten used to you yelling at her yet. The new one.
She just starts crying now when
she doesn't even show up. She's like, I'm not doing it.
Do whatever you want. Leave me alone. And I am playing another MMO, and I was talking on the phone with John, a.k.a. Paz, and I was talking to Brian the other day, too, and both of them I was like, well, guess what I'm playing. Paz must have went through 5 different MMOs. He finally just gave up. Brian never got it either, and it's WoW. I re-upped WoW.
Wah, wah, wah.
And yeah, John was just like, no way. I was like, yeah, I did.
That's pretty much the same response Brian had too. You said,
yeah.
I was like, you're shitting me.
You're shitting in my mouth right now.
Playing on Dawnbringer server on Horde side with those crazy dudes from World of Warcraft podcast. They're in a guild called Lunar Dawn, and for some reason they let me in. They're all like 80 and doing stuff, and I'm like,
oh, not 80
20.
years old, 80 level, okay.
Level 80, yeah, and I'm like level 20. And yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've kind of I'm on a hiatus from Ion, but I think we'll talk about that later. What are you playing, Steve?
What I've been playing, let's see. I actually started playing Dirt 2 again, just on a whim. I was in the mood for it, so I started picking that back up. And I tell you, like when I first started playing that game, you kind of slowly get into a groove as you go through the single player campaign, and kind of it ramps you up really well with the speed of the game as you go through. And it's weird going back and like automatically still thinking that you have that ability to go into the faster races. I ended up having to scale back basically to the beginning of the game, to some of the early races, and kind of reteach myself some of my tricks, but started doing that again so I can start working on the multiplayer on it and getting my rank up. Other than that, I've been wanting to play Assassin's Creed 2, like, badly. Everything I see on that just looks amazing.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And did you like the first one?
I kind of liked the first one. I really liked the setting. I liked the idea of the game. I thought there was a lot of stuff about it that was just I guess my biggest problem was the whole exterior storyline thing. The whole story, like backstory as to why. I mean, the whole why you are in this time period. I didn't care for. I wish they would have just had a storyline involved with a character there, but I guess for sequelization as they're doing it, it makes sense. It's a nice to have a fluid storyline to go through these. It just really seems like they're going to make more based on that. But
yeah, and I've seen in some reviews that try to be spoiler free, but they say that it's a different setup this time.
Yeah.
With the whole Animus future thing, but they do say that there is more of the future, the present day stuff, and it's really cool. Where that was one of the main complaints in the first
Really?
one, that it broke up the game so much when you finally had to go back to the Animus and and move around, and it was kind of like a puzzle game at that point.
Yeah.
But I like that setup. I think that's kind of cool, and there's a way to keep the game going forward in time, because you don't want to have the sequel in the same exact time. But I love the first one.
Right.
It was repetitive. It did bug me, but yeah, the whole the Crusade setting was awesome, and the animation, the way you moved about the environment was just badass. And all the reviews, seem to say that this improves on everything of the first one.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Ugh.
Yeah. Maybe after the holidays are over and I have absolutely no spending rights right now. I had to.
Yeah, I'm on lockdown.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the doghouse as it is. Partly because I spent some money a couple nights ago and subscribed to Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was told about a free trial by Jason here and decided to check it out, and for some odd reason, even though I've played the game twice before, I didn't care for it before, but I actually am enjoying myself in it now.
So you're playing one of the newer classes too, though, kind of like me.
I'm playing the Warden, and like everything about that class so far, I'm just digging. I think that's a huge reason why I am enjoying it. It's partly because the game... Partly because, like I said in my Ion article about basically how I'm kind of quitting playing Ion just because I have no time to devote to Ion, I think it's just a perfect fit for me right now. I think just the amount of time that I can put into an MMO, Lord of the Rings is a very good fit for. I'm leveling rather smoothly in the game. I'm enjoying the content that's there. There seems to be plenty of content for me to, like, if I get on for 20-30 minutes, I can go and run a quest. I can go try to find nodes to mine ore for my armor smithing. But I think the biggest thing is that class. The Warden class is just, I'm loving it. And
I made a Hobbit one.
You made a Hobbit Warden? You're
Yeah,
playing a Runekeeper mainly though, aren't you?
Yeah, that class is really cool. It's kind of it's a healer nuker. It's classified, when you create a character, it gives you a classification of what archetype it is. It's classified as a nuker, but it's got healing abilities. That's really cool. It's as you have this little meter, and as you use one type of spell, you increase in that. So if you're nuking, you get like nuking spells points, and if you're healing, you get healing points, and they open up more as you go. And you still have some basic ones that you can use on either side. So it seems like I'll have some versatility in a group where if I'm the main healer, I could probably heal pretty decently. And if I'm nuking, I can nuke the shit out of stuff.
You said the other night that it seemed a lot like the shaman class and war.
Yeah, where you have, but it's a little bit different, but kind of the same. The shaman in war, if you were using if you were using damage spells, it would build you points towards healing spells, so you could switch, which is a really cool mechanic. If you were if you used 5 damage spells, you may get a big heal that would be an insta versus where it might be like a 3-second cast. This is kind of the same, but it's different because the more you use like a damage spell, it limits what your healing spells would be. But you do have some neutral spells that will kind of neutralize points.
Oh, okay.
So you have some basic, they're kind of like debuffs or something like that, and you can throw those out there pretty quickly and try to get it down. But you have to kind of think ahead. In a group battle, you have to use those ahead of time before the big heals will come. And if you're just DPSing and you need to throw quick heals out, you're screwed, because the only real healing spell I have at 24 that I can use anytime is a heal over time. But I've been soloing for the most part, and I'm hoping that we have a couple people playing, can get some grouping together once people get up a little bit, and I can try to practice that.
Yeah.
And one other thing that they've added since I've been in, besides those classes, were our keeps to the PvP. So I definitely want to try that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the warden. I'm playing the warden. The warden system is actually kind of cool because just going in, I just like the idea of the class because it's a melee DPS class. It uses a spear as its main weapon and a shield, and you can also throw javelins as like a ranged attack. But the cool thing is the gambit system in it. The gambit system is basically like a combo system that you feed in different styles, and based on the 2 or 3 styles that you feed into this gambit system, it will unlock a gambit that, like, okay, the easiest example is if I have my shield bash ability, if I do 2 shield bashes right in a row, it will unlock a buff that I can hit that will actually increase my ability to block. I also have, like, if I do 2 spear strikes in a row, it'll unlock a third ability that is basically just a larger spear attack, and you can mix and match these and come up with tons of different, like, you can unlock different end gambits, and it really, the cool thing about it is as I was looking at this huge tree of all the gambits that are available, and they really seem to feed exactly how you play the class. Like, if I'm using more of these shield type abilities, it's going to end up making me more of a defensive class as I'm fighting. If I do just more offensive, I'm going to dole out more damage, and you get gambits to unlock that are actually more damage dealing. The whole idea of that is really cool. It's a very fluid system. And I read somewhere else that I think eventually you get gambits that actually unlock like self heals, and that just sounds awesome. So I'm just digging it.
Yeah, the combat seems to, I remember from playing last time, seems to be more involved, and the gambit system and the rune keeper system definitely help with that.
Now, I was wondering, it's been forever since I played the other classes. Did they previously have it, like, systems like this, or is this just something new with these 2 classes?
I mostly only played, I have a minstrel that's in its mid-20s, and they have some mechanic that's somewhat similar. You play songs as a minstrel, but it's the main healer in the game, and you have tiered songs, and you have songs that will only unlock after you've met, the tier. So you'll have some tier 1 song abilities, and then go up to tier 2 and 3, and they get their damage and healing spells and buff spells that get more complex as you go. So I'm guessing most classes have something like that. I play a champion a little bit, and they're an older class, and they have something similar. It just cracks me up. They're a class that's like a pet class, but they're a DPS, and you can summon like actual guys. But you get abilities after you've defeated somebody. You get like heal abilities or buff abilities or debuff abilities. So they seem like a class that's pretty cool to just chaining through people. So like you defeat one person, maybe you pulled like 3 or 4. You defeat one person and all those unlock. So you can either heal or debuff or, buff yourself. And then after you kill somebody else, they open up again. So I think that most classes have some sort of ability like that. And they've really changed the leveling requirements in that. And I know Brian was talking about that before. I don't know if it was on a podcast or not. They've scaled back how much experience you need. So that's one nice thing about going back to this game is the time involved is not nearly as much as it was. So yeah, I can get in and feel like I've actually done something.
Right.
And playing Ion, that's a big difference.
Right.
And
I'm really on the fence with that, though. I mean, I understand. I still defend Ion to a degree that.
Yeah, I know.
You really get what you put in. You get out of it what you put into it. But I mean, for me right now, yeah, it's really nice to go through LOTRO so easy.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Just during this holiday time and everything being crazy, me not having a lot of playtime, it is great. I just hope that the longevity of the game isn't hurt by just how quickly you whip through things.
Right.
But I'm enjoying it for now. Like I said, I don't know if I bought a 3-month subscription because they had them on specials and special, and you get the expansion if you got that. So I don't know. I'm just enjoying it for now. It's a nice thing to log into and mess around, and I really like the story in the game. I love the Lord of the Ring books, and this is like the only MMO that I read all the quests or most of them. If they're like, as soon as I open up and it's like kill wolves, I'm like, all right, fuck this. I'm just gonna. But if it's the main story quests, I think are really cool and well done, the way they instance you. So it's good dicking around game.
Yeah, it is. One real quick note before we move on, but the one thing about the crafting that at first I didn't like, but I really like the idea behind it is that like all the crafting professions, none of them can do the entire profession by themselves. They rely on another crafting profession to give them some material.
Yeah,
so everybody has to help each other out.
Yep, and I like how they pair them up in threes, and you don't feel like you're just doing one thing, but you're semi self-sufficient. But yeah, you got to rely on somebody else to make the really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a shout out to your guild?
Yeah,
what server you're on?
I want to tell a quick story.
Yeah.
Guild. I had H1N1 last weekend, and I'm getting up and I'm like, oh god, but I was tired of laying in bed, and I got up and played a little bit of Lord of the Rings, and I was seeing it was a Saturday, and I didn't have a guild, and I saw people talking in general that there was a guild fair going on in the Bree fairgrounds, and for people who aren't familiar with Lord of the Rings, Bree is like a central human city. I went there, and the fairgrounds have these tents and different things, and there was like tons of guilds like manning each tent, and as soon as I walked in, I got some tells from people because they saw I wasn't guilded, and then I had people coming up to me and talking to me and kind of giving me beer or pipe weed or stuff, kind of just asking, hey, so you're looking for a guild, what are you interested in, what's your play style? And I talked to like 5 or 6 different guilds, and I kind of had to ignore some tells just because it got to be a bit much, but I mean that was kind of the point of it. And I thought that was awesome that it wasn't anything that the server, like the actual turbine company was doing. It was a server thing that they apparently do this every once in a while. I talked to a few guilds, and I met with one and kind of told them I'm not super serious in this game. I might not even play if the free trial's over. I'm just looking for a place to hang out and dick around and not have any expectations. And I ended up joining a guild. It's called Smog's Legacy, and we're on the Land Drovel server. And really good people. But I thought it was really cool that a server would get together and do that and coordinate it. And there was, I think, 30 plus guilds. And it went like from noon until I went to bed and came back at 6 or so, and they were still going. There was still a ton of guilds out there chatting people up. Really great community on that server. It's one of those unofficial RP servers, which usually tend to be the best.
Yeah, I'm making friends like out of nowhere for some reason.
Yeah, you've had people come up to you, and you've had to ask them, do I know you?
Yeah, the first day that I got on, I think it was the first night, and so I was standing there after you get through the opening story, and I was just sitting there. I think I was actually talking to you, just standing there. Some dude just walked up to me and waved. I'm like, maybe this is Brian. I don't know. So I was like, hey, and he's like, I think the first words out, or first typing out of his mouth, whatever you want to call it, he was like, don't you think the UI in this is just atrocious? I'm like, hey, it must be Brian. So I started talking.
Why would somebody come up to me and talk to me like as I do that?
I just started talking to him, and it eventually got to this point where then like Brian got on, we started talking. I'm like, wait, what? And then I asked, it's like, do I know you? And he's like, no, I'm just very friendly. I'm like, oh, okay. And then we friended each other and started talking. And then today I was standing in some town, and some guy walked up to me and waved. I'm like, hey.
What character are you that you are so like?
I don't know. I'm
so attractive, friendly.
It must be my go-to.
I want to check you out. I need something new to jerk off to.
Don't do it now because my guy looks like he's wearing PJs.
Well, that kind of helps.
I'm gonna say that might add to it.
Not the ones with the
let's not rule anything out.
Not the ones with the flap in the back or anything, not like that. But
never mind.
No easy access. But we've talked about LOTRO quite a bit, and I'm sure there's at least 1 or 2 people listening that are just saying, "Please talk about WoW. I know she's playing WoW. Talk about WoW." So what are you playing?
For me, I don't know how much I should talk about WoW because I mean, I'm on the Horde side, so everything's new to me. I mean, I've done Horde side before up to 26. My character right now is 21, so I've done all this before, but it was like, I don't know, when did Burning Crusade come out? Like 3 years
Oh,
ago?
jeez.
2 years ago? So it's been quite a while. So I kind of remember the quests a bit as I'm doing them. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. But I don't necessarily remember, that which mob is in which house or whatever, so. But it's a holy spec priest soloing, and that's not real smart. I understand. And it's a little slow, but it's fun. I mean, it's kind of nice to get something familiar. And
Did you just go into it thinking that there will be a need for the class, or just that's what you'd like anyways? Or
my first character was a holy priest night elf.
Her mains are usually healers that are not damage spec'd in games.
Yeah, and except for my minstrel, which is actually the one character I love the most. Like, I need more bard-like classes in games. Again.
Well, that was one of the best classes in any game ever.
I know. I loved my minstrel. It was such a jack of all trades. But anyway, I like to be able to like pull out like I may not be the best, but if you don't have one of the classes in your group, you could fill in. Like I like that type of role.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Surprised you didn't go druid then.
I don't like the. You know what? I hate
the big bear ass.
I hate shape shifting. No, I hate any class that does shape shifting.
Okay.
I can't stand like the berserker in DAOC and I don't like the druid how it changes forms all the time. I don't know why, but I hate it. So yeah, that turns me off to the druid. Otherwise, I probably would play a druid. But I just finished all of the Blood Elf area, and I've moved on to some area outside of Ogrimmar. And I was talking in Guild yesterday, and I needed to go to some place. I'm following James Horde leveling guide that's online. It's supposed to be like the quickest way to level up. And I was like, okay, well, it's having you go get these flight paths, and then I'm like, okay, one of the flight paths said it was going to Thunder Bluff. So I said in Guild, I'm like, that's like the Cowland, right? And one of the ladies in the Guild, I think it's a lady anyway, the character's name is Dream Diva, so I assume. Which might be just a female character, I guess. But anyway, she was like, oh, that's hilarious. I was like, yeah. So that's it, right? She's like, yeah, that's right. So yeah, I'm totally not. I don't know. Like people say stuff, and I don't know what they mean. There's all of these acronyms and abbreviations, and I'm just like,
we got a 452 this.
Yeah. We're going over to KCB and the TF4 and the. I'm just like, okay.
Watch your E. Don't forget about your J's.
But everyone's real friendly, so.
Don't spunk all over your B's.
I already have like a ton of money because apparently, okay, you've all played WoW. Small eggs, like they drop off of the newbie mobs, and you use them for cooking, like to skill up and stuff. Well, I farmed a bunch of them and threw them on the auction house, and they're selling for like anywhere between 10 gold and 15 gold a stack.
My gosh.
So I've got over 100 gold, and I've got like 2 12-slot bags and 2 14-slot bags already.
Jeez.
And I've got my first mount, and I'm like, this is awesome, because apparently, I was talking to Wes about it. I'm like, what is like the economy's so bloated? I mean, obviously, I'm not going to ever be able to afford to buy anything then if this is the case. But he said that it's because as you go on later with cooking, eggs are still needed, and people don't want to farm them. So it's like, oh, for 15 gold, that would do me some farming. But
hell yeah.
So I'm doing all right. I haven't had to beg for money or anything.
Not yet.
No, not yet. But yeah, it's cool. I got my little Mr. Chili, little penguin you get because they switched over to the battle.net or the battle.net.
Oh yeah. How is that?
I don't know. I don't notice a difference.
Oh.
I don't have any other I don't have any other Blizzard games, so for me, I'm just like, whatever.
So it's just something back there, kind of like Steam or something.
I just click on WoW and log in as normal. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not even sure if it does that. I'm not using any add-ons or anything. I'm a terrible player, I guess. You have to have add-ons, right? Mods.
No. I never used any well, I can't say I never used any add-ons in WoW, but the couple that I did were so tame that I practically didn't need them anyway, so.
Like the Pizza Hut. One.
Yeah.
I could order pizza.
Wait,
The
can't you play Peggle in that game now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't figured that out yet, but I've heard you can. The thing I hate about add-ons is whenever there's a patch and they all break. Like
Yeah,
that
that's a pain in the
frustrates
ass.
me so much. So yeah, until I get to a point where I need them, which probably won't be until 80, because that's where everyone is.
If any game is a safe one to do add-ons in, it's WoW, because that game is so heavily played and updated by the mod community that it's probably not that big of a pain. But I remember back in Dark Age when people were messing around with mods and add-ons, that every time they patched that game, it was usually a month before they got a corrected one out, and it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the poor bastards who play Horizons with mods.
You
It's
mentioned
not
Horizon
even
a
called
lot.
that anymore. I know. Just because that's one that my sister bought and played and I remember looking at and like, oh god, this is awful. And I remember when she canceled that after like a month of buying it, she had to jump through so many hoops. She had to call and talk to a live customer service rep before they would cancel her
No
account.
shit.
And they tried to, make her do, like, I don't know if she had to confirm some email and a whole bunch of other stuff, but it was a big pain in the ass.
Oh, what was the other thing? The thing with WoW recently is that they have those 2 pets that are for sale. Have you guys heard about those?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sold out of those.
How do you sell out of them?
I don't know, but they
A
did.
virtual commodity.
Yeah.
Wow, well, that's weird.
Well, wasn't the one that did they sell out of both, or did they only sell out of the panda? And the panda, I believe, was a
That went for charity.
Yeah.
Yeah, half of
Were
it.
they
Yeah.
like matching a fund with the charity, like the number of dollars going in? Were they matching it to a certain dollar amount? And is that why they ran out or something?
I don't know.
That
I
was,
don't
that was
know.
my only thought when I heard
I
that
didn't
they
buy
ran
any
out.
of them.
Because they're pretty tight for money.
Yes.
I actually, I thought it was kind of ridiculous to charge like why are they charging $10 for pets? It's kind of silly. But then the pets do they actually interact with you. Like if you bow to it, they'll bow back. If you dance with it, they'll clap or something. I mean, I don't know exactly what they do, but they actually interact with what you do with them.
So if you need
and,
a
like,
friend,
Yeah, and I do because I'm, soloing up all my way up here. But
you're sitting there dying as your
I'm
priest.
sitting here
looking up
talking to
at your,
Mr. Chili, and he's just, squawking at me. He
looking
doesn't
at
do
your
all
panda,
this.
going, "Oh, help me!
And
Why aren't you helping me? He's beating my face."
well, see, the other little critter, he actually does beat up stuff. He beats up critters if you walk too
Oh,
close,
cool.
like a squirrel or a bunny or whatever. He actually will fight and kill
That's
like a
badass.
critter. I thought that was kind of cool. What was it? I was reading some interview, and the guy made. No, it was on. I think it was on the Instance. They actually had a Blizzard rep on the show. Yeah, it was. It was on the last show of the Instance, and he explained, it's $10 because they had to make the amount. Like they had to be able to justify, pulling, having people actually work on pets to sell. But then so it had to be worthwhile. Otherwise, why pull? They could be working on something else for the game that that they're developing. And the other thing was, once they got to that price of $10, like, okay, well then these have to be really good. So they're a lot more detailed than the regular pets that you're used to in WoW. And quite a few people have them, like from podcasts. I heard like the guys from WoW, World of Warcraft, and the Instance, like all those hosts had bought them, and they're like super happy with them. So
Yeah, if you're happy with them, whatever.
yeah, it's tough. And it's like it's one more way for Blizzard to make money. But then on the other hand, if people are loving them and it's adding to their game experience, but it's not actually changing their game experience in terms of that they don't actually benefit you in a fight or anything, then what's the harm?
No, I have no problem with fluff stuff like that.
Yeah, it's all fluff. So I mean, it's cool. I mean, give you more options and more things to enjoy in your game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
I have no rebuttal.
Oh, okay. That's odd for you.
Oh, why?
I don't know.
See, the way they get you is, and I've done this when MMOs that I've played, and Guild Wars did a lot of this, where they offered stuff that was extra, but you didn't really need it. But, I'm sitting there thinking, well, I'm playing this as kind of a hobby and a commitment, so I might as well just get this to fulfill it. And I bet they're betting on a lot of people being dumb like me and doing that. But, hey, if it makes you happy, I mean, as long as it doesn't break the game or You need it before you do some PvP or raids or whatever.
No.
Not like I can talk. I just spent what $40 to sub for like 3 months to LOTRO. So
Yeah,
Hey,
like
but that's still a good deal, and
That
you
was
got
a hell of a deal.
expansion pack out of that.
I got 2 expansion packs because I didn't
That's a
have
good deal.
I didn't have Mines of Moria, so I had to spend $10 for that. But then when I got that, I got like an extra month for free with that.
I don't think I have Mines of Moria either. Do you have Mines of Moria, Jay?
Yeah, I did.
When did you get that?
I think. Okay, remember?
Stop buying things.
No. I didn't buy that
this pack?
recently. No, remember when we as a guild did that little experiment with only war people before war came out?
Did we buy Mines of Moria?
I think I did back then. I'm like, hey, I really like this game, and then I forgot about it. So when I didn't buy it just now, because I remember I even told Steve, like, no, Mines of Moria, I think they threw in free, and he's like, no.
Yeah, that's
don't
what
have
sucked. That's what I was like. I was playing the game and I was asking. I was like, man, I don't have Mines of Moria though. I was like, does it come free with that now, or do you still have to go out and buy a box for that? He's like, no, I'm pretty sure they throw that in now because it's been out for so long, for like a year or whatever it's been. So I was like,
Nice.
all right, okay. I like the next day, it was like the second to last day before the Siege of Mirkwood deal was over with, and what that deal was if you bought a 3, 6, or 12-month subscription to the game before the 18th, they would actually throw in Siege of Mirkwood, which is normally $20 by itself, for free. And the deal was if you did a 3-month subscription, it was $10 a month, so it was only $30. So for $30, you got 3 months of game and the expansion for free. So I thought that was a hell of a deal. So it's like, okay, yeah, I'll buy that. I can do that. I can swing that. But then I got on, I'm filling out all my information that's saying, okay, you're going to be buying Mines of Moria for $10 and that for $30. I'm like, I didn't remember that. I thought it was free. And it wasn't, and so I had to buy it. But still, it was still a hell of a deal for $10 for the expansion, and I get a month out of that, and then 3 more months. So I'm
Did you at least-
vested.
before
Yeah, you are
before
into this game.
Before you hit purchase, did you say that goddamn motherfucker?
I know.
Bitch, Jason. No, I still.
You just bought Ion, and you were in it 2 months, and now you're sure you can commit to 4 months to this game?
No, not at all.
No, God, no.
No, I'm not sure I'm committing to it, but the thing is, I think that it's the type of game that I can still always fall back on if I'm playing something else, because I still want to play Fallen Earth. I'm still playing the trial of that, and I'm enjoying it. But right now, I can't see spending $50 for it. That's my sticking point with Fallen Earth, is that I really enjoy the game, but
Well, that game's going to be free to play soon.
I know it won't. It's growing in numbers, man.
From like 8 to 12.
Yeah, I know, but still. No, but it's seriously, the crafting in that game and everything, just the fact that you can it's a sandbox MMO, pretty much. It kind of reminds me to a degree.
Well, isn't every MMO a sandbox?
No, not like this, though. I mean, because this.
No,
you can-
because I mean, WoW pretty much holds your hand, tells you right where to go. I mean, they don't have the circles on the maps like in War, but I mean, a lot of MMOs pretty much hold your hand the whole way through.
What I mean sandbox, when I'm talking about Fallen Earth, the cool thing about it is that, for a very basic example, crafting. Anything in that game that is used for crafting, you can make. You can actually craft any component in that game if you have the ability to. Or you can get it from drops or from salvaging piles of junk or whatever, but I mean, you can craft everything in that game. And everything you do in that game actually counts towards your experience. So I can do nothing but scavenge things all day from piles of junk and just purely level off of that if I wanted to. Yeah, it's going to take me a lot longer.
Ion kind of does that too. I mean, you have to make every little piece, like,
Right.
In your weaponry and stuff, and you get experience off of that.
Right. It's kind of that same idea, but there's just something about it that really, I think it strings you along a little bit better than Ion did. All of your an experience level on Fallen Earth actually takes a pretty long time. I think I played it for like the first 3 nights. I probably put maybe 3 or 4 hours in the game and only got to level 3. But
Wow.
but the nice thing is that every level is actually broken up into 10 bubbles, and each bubble that you get actually gives you 2 AP points that you can put towards skills. And all your skills and your stats that you can put those points into to really define your character. And that was the other cool thing about it, is that you can really define exactly what kind of player you want to be, with as micromanagey as the skill and stat system is.
Here's my response to that.
Yes.
Lord of the Rings has an NPC named Dirk Mudbrick.
I know. I saw that dude, and yeah, I'm in love now.
Dirk.
Did you see what happened to him?
No, I didn't.
He dies.
He dies. I haven't done any quests with him or anything. I just saw the guy as I walked by.
Well, no, it's after you do the instance after in that first area.
Oh, was that where I saw him?
Yeah, and then he's dead. He's dead now.
Oh, damn it! That's right.
Poor Dirk Mudbrick.
After the fire and the
Our thoughts and prayers are with Dirk Mudbrick and his family.
With the Mudbricks.
With the Mudbrick.
The Mudbrick family.
During this difficult time.
Him and his little Mudbricks.
So you two have LOTRO'd off, and you're not the only ones. Brian's LOTRO'd off. Ode's LOTROing off, I've heard. Lyris is thinking about this too. I mean, were you guys all just moving to LOTRO now?
Just to goof off. I mean.
Yeah, I know. That's all we ever do. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we kind of said Ion has a lot of burnout and a lot of people, and I've noticed a lot of people in the guild.
I still like Ion.
Oh, I like Ion too, and I really one of the biggest bummers with Ion, and I've discussed it in a previous podcast, is the few handful, probably 5 Fortress Sieges I've been in have just been a disaster. Like way worse than War Keep Sieges were in the beginning at launch, and way worse than DAOC Relic Raids were. It just really depressed me because I can't afford to completely upgrade my system right now. And one really nice thing about Lord of the Rings...
I've heard that it doesn't help anyway with Ion.
And it may... that's what I've heard too. And just one thing that I've really liked about Lord of the Rings is shit loads fast, and I have everything cranked up, and it's because, I mean, it's an older game, but it still looks great. The graphics look awesome in it.
The models don't.
Well, no, the models...
character models are... Ugh.
Yeah.
Can't stand them.
Yeah, I am not moving.
But environmental, the game is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is.
And
now that my dude's got a cape and it covers up most of my character, it actually doesn't look that bad. The cape effects are actually really nice. They flow really cool.
Yeah, but when you take it off, you look like Rocky Dennis.
Yeah,
it's bad. But I just when you zone between areas, it's super quick.
Yeah,
it's it's a couple seconds, but yeah, I don't know.
You guys really blown LOTRO quite a bit. We were talking about Ion. And some people, the grind has gotten to them. You know, there's a lot of great games that are out right now. Dragon Age, Torchlight, and some other things have really been eating away at people's, sparse playtime. And it's just one of those things where Ion's losing out because you can't have that enjoyable experience and just jump into it and get out and feel like you've accomplished a lot. For me, I don't play any other games. I'm kind of just an MMO person, and I still really like Ion. But my issue was I have decided to take a back seat with the guild leadership. I've done it for like almost 7 years now, longer than I've been married to Jason, and I need a break. I don't want to, not even a break. I've retired. I'm not going to lead a guild anymore. And so it's just hard for me to be in the guild right now and not be leading it. Like those old habits die hard, So I've just kind of said I will take a leave from Ion until like new leadership is established, because otherwise I'll just start taking over everything and doing organization and stuff again, and it's because I'm bossy that way.
Oh yeah, she is.
Yeah, she is.
I'm sorry.
And that's something that isn't just you in the guild, because we've kind of said you've done primarily the most of this for going on 7 years. I've done not even a fraction of what you've done, but I've been doing a lot for the same amount of time, even before you. I mean, I was one of the guild leaders before you took over, and then you took over and did most of it. But yeah, we don't want to do that anymore. And then we've had most guild members who say, yeah, it's the same with them. I mean, any officer people that
we've all gotten old. We don't have time.
Yeah, that's
the
older,
biggest issue.
And Ion is really grindy, and people just want to play what they want to play right now, and there's so many good games out right now.
No, it's not a temporary thing for me. You keep saying like right now, and that's
no, I'm talking about
right now is the catalyst.
Oh, yeah, that was
Yeah.
like the straw that broke. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm not implying that you're going to be doing it anytime in the future.
No, it's just that this holiday season was basically the catalyst that kind of spawned all these ideas, and because we're doing the multiplaying thing now, that was also thoughts that were running through your head. So
And I want to go to IHOP at Christmas.
That it was for me. It was it was from
Pancakes and Christmas
you
are the
shut
best.
up. For me, it wasn't really any other games, like I said, or anything like that, or holidays. I've done that before. It was just I can't keep. It became more of a neglected stress. Like I kept stressing about what I should be doing with the guild, and I wasn't doing because real life priorities kept coming up, and so it was just like, well, now this isn't fun. It's like this job that I'm failing at, rather than just something I enjoy doing with my friends, and so it was just time to quit when it becomes something like that. You know, I'm not doing a good job because I don't have that extra free time to put into it like I used to. And
it made it a lot, I don't want to say easier, in that we have the multiplaying community. We have people playing different games together. You know, we play Team Fortress 2. We have people who just like, oh, I'm going to go dick around Lord of the Rings. It's more, we're more of a community now than just a guild, which is really cool.
yeah,
And as we get older, that's exactly what needed to happen with us and the whole group, because like I said, people don't want to lead. They want to play what they want to play. And we're all mostly old fogies now with kids and responsibilities. And it's just awesome to be able to play a game and then have people like, hey, I'm going to play that with you.
yeah, that's awesome.
Isn't it funny too, though, that like you're playing the biggest game in the world and you're not playing with anybody?
I'm playing with the CP guys.
No,
yeah,
that's true.
like he said,
Well, not
you're
with
you're
them.
not
I
playing
mean, they're
with
on
it. I'm just
at the
kidding.
same time. I mean, I'm not really up to their level. But yeah, anyone from our like group, no. But see, I'm doing this for the multiplaying because it's the biggest MMO in
You're
the world. We
diversifying
should
us.
have someone cover it. So
Yes, we're
I'm-
diversified into multiple.
Right, yeah,
that's what
because
I'm doing. I thought
'cause-
that all out.
if there's a game that really doesn't have much press, like much coverage,
We don't have any multiplaying press on it.
Yeah, because everybody in the MMO community was just waiting for us to get our words in on.
Yeah, what do you think of WoW?
Yeah.
I'm sure most of the multiplaying community will read the blog post that you'll post and be like, what's this WoW? What's
Yeah.
World of Warcraft?
Wow, let's check this out. Douchebags. Well, I don't like LOTRO. I've tried it twice before.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. I didn't
What?
like it either until this time for some odd reason, like planets aligned and everything. And like I said though,
You know what? If you're
What?
playing by next week, let me know.
Well, no, we're not, and I don't want to, we've gone on about LOTRO a lot, but this isn't, like, don't come by this game because we're playing, because
the last
God
two
knows
times,
we're playing this next week, really.
yeah, because the last two times I went, got into LOTRO, I played it for 2 weeks both times, and I had like, I don't know, it wasn't fun. I really tried for like both times for 2 weeks, and then I just couldn't do it anymore. So yeah, you guys haven't even been doing it a full week yet. So
I might not play after next week.
you might be though. Some people, a lot of bloggers are really going back to LOTRO. I need to go find. Well, that's what I did too. I went and found me an old MMO and went back.
So you've been listening to other like WoW podcasts?
No, I listened to the instance, and I had been listening to the World of Warcraft podcast,
Yeah.
and that's an awkward name, guys.
Mhm.
The acronym looks cool, the wow, but it's hard to say. Wow.
Oh.
Let's see. Other MMO news. Star Trek Online release dates announced February 2nd, 2010, and open beta starts January 26th.
Looking at previews for that game,
Snore.
it has that signature cryptic janky look.
Yeah, it just looks terrible.
No, but that totally applies to cryptic
Yeah,
games.
we stamp our just seal of jankiness on it, because that just, I have no interest in that at all.
Very pew pew.
Well, that's not why it looks janky, but just looking at it,
It just looks terrible.
the frame rate looks really bad.
Well, that's
The animations, don't look smooth.
yeah.
But are you a Star Trek fan at all?
No. Well, I like the
I am-
new movie.
I am somewhat.
That tells you anything.
Well, no, I liked Next Generation. I like some of the Star Trek movies, the older
Sure.
movies. Yeah, I know.
I
But
like the one old movie, I think it was 4, where they went back in time to get the whales.
yeah,
I like that one.
yeah, my mom liked that one too. Hi, Mom.
I'm not offended. His mom likes good movies.
Yeah.
Her favorite Christmas movie is The Long Kiss Goodnight.
That's a
Come on,
silly
Rox.
selection. Our favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard.
Yeah, my favorite movie. My favorite one's Die Hard.
I gotta go with the Christmas Story.
Well, yeah, that too.
No, it's just Die Hard. Die Hard's better.
Oh, I gotta go with that one too.
No.
But you guys can, but I'm not.
A crummy commercial? Son of a bitch.
Don't talk to me. I'm thinking.
Is that all we have for MMO-ness?
I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Can you guys talk about any more LOTROing?
Sorry.
I talked about Horizons. I covered all the hot MMO properties.
Well, I was trying to get off of. That's why I brought up the WoW thing, because I figured
Oh.
we were already talking about it too
We
much.
should probably say too that Horizons is not even called Horizons anymore.
What is it called now?
It's called, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but Astaria, like Istaria.
How did they manage that?
Ataraxia?
I have no fucking idea. I'm sure the 4 people playing were like, "Hey, I don't like Horizons," and they passed a vote 2-1 to name it Astaria.
Sorry, Dave. We're changing it.
All right, who was in with the last week's TF2ing?
I think it was just me and Carr.
There you go.
Yeah.
Two tearing it up.
You guys are a cute
I'm
couple.
not sure if anybody else popped in after I left, but I believe for a while it was just me and Carr, and we were on some hellish map I just can't stand. I think it's called Nucleus. TF2 players will probably yell at me if I'm wrong, but there's a center point and spawns on either side. And it's a pretty small map, but there's lots of ins and outs, like all over the place. And it just seemed like no matter where I went, there was always somebody behind me.
Aha.
Aha.
Hot.
It was just, not hot at
Did
all.
they snap the glove?
Yes, the medic did.
What's all this Demo Man update ideas? I hear so much about it on the Multiplaying site.
You hear so much about it?
I read so
Oh,
much
okay.
about it.
Uh,
I will hear shortly as you begin speaking.
It was just some ideas. I don't know. As I was playing the Demo Man, I think it was actually that night as I was playing it, started thinking, because they still have a couple classes to still do updates for. They still have to do the Soldier, the Engineer, and the Demo Man. And since I play the Demo Man the most, I don't really play the other two classes too much. I started kind of thinking what could be a nice change for the Demo Man. Because I already feel that it's a pretty balanced class. Anyways, I'm not sure what you would change about it, but then I just mind wandered and thought, okay, what would you change? First idea that I had was, okay, how about change the ammo type that's in the grenade launcher, not really change it to a different, like completely different type of gun, because I think if you change the Demo Man's weapons to anything but something that explodes, I think you're kind of taking away something from the class. So I was just thinking about changing the actual ammo type, and so maybe like you throw up a nade and it blasts on impact rather than having any bounce, but actually does a larger area of damage but less actual damage within that area. So you're creating something that has a little more technical skill to it rather than luck that I think a lot of people lean to on the Demo Man right now. And then the other thing was, like, if you look back at the very early trailer, like before the game actually came out, the classes in there, most of the classes stayed the same from that trailer, but the one that was different is that the Demo Man in the trailer actually had a bundle of dynamite that he was spinning around in his hand. And I think I actually linked to the trailer on my post. But there was one part where he walked into a room and saw a sentry gun and backed back out. He got the stick of dynamite out and threw it down the hallway. Well, it was enough to blow up that level 1 sentry. What happened though was after it blew up that initial time, a lot of the sticks actually flew out into an area and eventually blew up themselves, and it killed the engineer that was running across them. I thought that was actually a good idea to maybe bring back. You probably have to make some tweaks to it, but I thought it was actually a good premise for a weapon. I just think they need to update it to something that can actually be balanced in the game now.
I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
The next TF2 night is November 23rd, 2009. And you can join our Steam group at steamcommunity.com/groups/multiplayingnet.
Jamil is here! Ooh!
We have some listener feedback. Rokudan.
Mm-hmm.
Rokudan.
Rokudan.
His iTunes review. He said, "How can you not like a show where the host has a drink named after her?"
Yeah, the Zelly.
That's you.
Zelly
Yeah.
was good.
That was me. And Shinobi said, "There isn't enough words in the English language for me to express how much I love this podcast. It's a bit odd to hear you all using your real names, though."
Well, to be honest, we're using code names. My name's not really Jason. I
Right.
throw the FBI off track.
It is weird to use. I don't know why. Like, because we game together and we always use the same handles in game anyway, so it is kind of odd to use different names. Real names.
It became the most evidently odd when Devin/Tack did not know any of our real names after playing for a year.
Like a year and a half. No, he'd been playing with us for like a year and a half, and like he had no idea. He kept calling me Sharon. Kept calling Steve Frank.
Yep.
Did he even know your name,
No.
Jason?
No, he didn't know my name either. But the best was when he finally called Steve Frank for like the second or third time, and he was just exasperated and went, "It's Steve." So hurt.
Dude, like the next day in game, I'm like, "What's my name?" He's like, "Sharon." I'm like, "You idiot."
Yeah, because the best thing is you brought it up and you were like, "You still don't know my name, do you?" You're like, "Yeah, I know your name. I know your name." And he's like, "Then what's my name?" "Yeah, it's Sharon."
He is priceless. He is without price.
To me, you're worthless. Without price.
We got an email?
Yep.
No way.
Yeah, we did. We got a couple.
Wow. J-Dub?
J-Dub.
He said, "Hey guys."
He's actually the blogger from Dub's Diatribe that got last week's blog of the week or site of the week.
Since you guys I went up for one cup of coffee here, and I came back, and you guys were I didn't know where you were in the agenda. So, what was the site of the week this week?
This week it is "Are We New at This?" And you can
Apparently we are.
We are. You can find it at areweknewatthis.wordpress.com. It plays lots of stuff. Actually, seems to be playing a lot of the same stuff that we do, other than I believe MMO.
Sounds great then.
Yes. He's a keeper. He's a peach. MMO-wise, I believe he's playing Champions, WoW, and EVE. I'm not sure exactly if he's just going across all three or just staying with one primarily, but on his list it says each of those three. But he's also playing Dragon Age and Borderlands and Modern Warfare 2 and Torchlight. Pretty good stuff. Go check it out.
All right. That was an odd insert into the segment, but we got it covered, so that's good. J-Dub says, "Hey guys, great podcast. I really enjoyed it. Also, thanks for the Site of the Week honors. It was a big surprise indeed. Thanks for turning me onto the site, and keep up the great work." So, yay! He must not have listened to a show.
Yeah.
Keep up the great work.
Until he listens to the show.
Oh, man. The other one's from Sark, who's a guildie and a host of MMO Weekly.
Over on lagwar.com.
What is this? Is this a quiz? Like
I
he's
don't know
quizzing,
what the hell
he's
it is.
quizzing us.
He's always got to be difficult.
He is. Okay, here's the question, and then you guys give me your answers each, I guess.
I'm still
Okay.
debating whether we even do this because he pranked us.
No, we're still going to do it because I like him.
All right.
How long do you guys see yourselves playing TF2? A, until Valve stops supporting it. B, until Valve comes out with another shooter. C, until the next shiny shooter. D, red versus blue will own you. Or pwn you. I don't know. E, never. F, fail.
I answer that with none of the above. I will probably play TF2 off and on until they come out with Team Fortress 3.
So,
Because
so B, until Valve.
because they've had other shooters and they've had other online shooters,
Oh.
but they're completely different feel than TF2 or Team Fortress.
Well, it took them like a million years to make TF2.
True, so I don't imagine Team Fortress 3 anytime soon. But I mean, Half-Life 2 had online capabilities, which weren't all that great compared to the single player. But I mean, if Half-Life Episode 3 comes out and then Half-Life 3 comes out and has multiplayer suite in it, I won't be probably playing that I'll be playing Team Fortress 2 until Team Fortress 3 comes out.
Yeah, because you look at Call of Duty 4 came out since, and yeah, when it first came out, or I should say Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, when you go on and play online, it was a lot of fun, and still there's tons of people that play it, especially now that Modern Warfare 2 doesn't have the dedicated servers thing. But yeah, there's lots of people still playing it. But I mean, I went and played it. I played it a bunch, capped out the level on that, and occasionally I go back and play. But I would much rather go back and play TF2. It's just something about that game is standing up the test of time very well.
It seems easy to jump into.
Yeah.
Like I on my own can just jump into it, whereas Left 4 Dead seems like you have to have like a group and you have to start at the same time. Like you can jump into TF2 at any point because there's it's just like
I think
craziness running everywhere.
I think it's the classes. I mean, a traditional first-person shooter like Call of Duty 4, that's not really traditional, but the leveling up, you level up a specific character and you have to work on it. In Team Fortress 2, you can just dick around with any class you want. You can respawn, pick a different class.
Yeah.
There's a lot of flexibility there and really team-driven. Where Team Deathmatch on Call of Duty, I mean, you're not really going to communicate with the people, but you're going to roll in Team Fortress 2 a character depending on what everyone else is playing. There's a lot of dynamics there, and Valve has that ridiculous community to it.
Yeah.
That you have Chris Dateline's Chris Hansen playing, and you have other things going on that just make every time you play an adventure.
His second request is Assassin's Creed 2 reviews, please.
If they'll send me one.
Hells yeah.
Okay, you'll get that after Christmas from
Maybe.
Jason's perspective, maybe.
Oh, if
Ooh, I know what I'm getting.
Well, no, because even if I don't buy it for him, if he doesn't get it, he'll go out and buy it the next day. So it'll
That's
be
true.
after Christmas. It doesn't matter if I get it for him or not.
So-
After Christmas, you'll be getting your Assassin's Creed 2.
I do that. Yeah.
not to break
Anything
up.
he doesn't get on his list, he buys the next day anyway. So it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
I do the same thing. But not to break up the conversation, but you'll probably also give us another half-assed review, won't you? Right after Christmas?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh God, what? I don't even know what you're talking about now.
I think there's something you might be getting.
Oh shit! Yeah, God, yeah. There may be a half-assed review coming for New Super Mario Brothers Wii, which
Yeah, it's a Santa brings it.
I did buy, and then I got told immediately. You know,
That's Christmas.
that's a family Christmas present because our son will dig it.
Yeah.
And that was so hard not to play, but yeah, I'm really glad that he'll be able to play it that morning.
You
But
need to
oh
buy
God,
yourself a shrink wrap machine.
yeah. She did tell me that I could go open it when he's in bed, and
You could, but
which I love her for that, but it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I want to play. The great thing about that game is I have a 5-year-old, and he's really into video games and Mario, and it's going to be really cool to be able to play a game like I played with, when I was.
and I
around
can play
his
too.
age.
It's like I love that. It's
Yeah,
like
there is
4
you.
people can play.
You'll be there too, but it'll be like a little like I was. Cause God, I was around that age when Super Mario Brothers came out, and ended up getting. I was a couple years older, but not much. And I think it's really cool that he'll be able to play that. I don't know.
There's still a picture of me somewhere from when I was Christmas.
Were you the N64 kid?
No, there's a picture of me somewhere. I think I was like 3 or 4. I can't remember how exactly old I was, but there's this picture of me unwrapping a box, and it's Empire Strikes Back for the Atari 2600.
Oh, badass!
That's one of my favorite pictures of
played that
myself.
game. Yeah. I like how you rank favorite pictures of yourself. Like you have your whole hall is just here's my favorite picture of me. Just,
He has an album. Favorite
flexing
pictures
it
of me.
You haven't been to the website?
That would be great. You should.
Everyone who goes to the Lickstein household gets to look at all the pictures.
Steen.
Yeah, whatever. Gets to look at all. Here's my gallery of myself.
Like Steen sounds better.
Let you look at this while I go to the bathroom. I'll be back in about half an hour.
It's Frank, man.
It's Frank Lixton.
The other thing he asks, so you guys might have heard that Ice Frog, the guy who made Defense of the Ancients mod for WC3, got hired by Valve. Does this mean that Valve will make an FPS-style version of Dota? If so, on a scale of 1 to 10, how far above 10 would that be on the success scale?
No, they won't make an FPS style of Dota.
It could be cool.
I don't know what Dota is.
Defense
Defense
of the
of-
Agents.
It's like a demigod or.
Oh.
It was a Warcraft 3
I've never heard of that.
mod that it was demigod or League of Legends that have come since.
Okay, now
Here's his argument for its success, though. A, good duration for casual and hardcore equals one match can be 15 minutes of domination or 45 minutes for the longest game usually. Sometimes an hour, an extremely even matchup. B, progression/persistence. Buy items and level up. Choose abilities each round as you go through. Significant improvements to your character over the 15 to 45 minute round. Additionally, if you have a summoner system like League of Legends, winning or losing will result in gain for your character's experience.
I think there's a ton of different options that could be done in a first-person shooter leveling system. I mean, the leveling system in first-person shooter is still pretty new. Call of Duty is the one that really made it popular. There were other ones before, but there's so many different things they could do. I know, what was it? Quake Wars, Enemy Territory did some pretty cool things with leveling that were entirely within the match. You had different rounds and you built up a character within the match, but it didn't carry over at all. But I think the cool thing that League of Legends does that a first-person shooter could do is you could have some leveling up within a match, but you still have carryover throughout your main character. That's one thing that League of Legends does brilliantly that the other like Demigod and things do not do, which really bummed me out. I feel like I want to level a character somehow as I'm going here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to have to go into a match and be outnumbered by people who've been playing, but I want to have something to go here. But I think there's a lot of things that could be done with a first-person shooter with that. But I got to say really quickly, I think it's really interesting how Valve hires a Defense of the Asians guy. I've heard League of Legends was made by Defense of the Asians people, and there's the Heroes of New Earth hired some of the Defense of the Asians guys. So how many of those bastards are out there?
Maybe it's the same guys moonlighting everywhere.
My thing is what makes it a for sure thing that he's going to make an FPS.
Because Valve hired him. I think that's the only
Who's
thing
to say they don't maybe want to try
branch out
into another type of game?
None of us are saying. He's saying.
Yeah.
That's still Sark.
Yeah,
I guess
Sark.
what I'm saying is, he's saying, does that mean Valve will make an FPS style Dota? I don't think they will.
I don't know. I want Portal 2. That's all. That's the main thing.
But if they did make an FPS style of Dota, it'd be cool if they used the classes from TF2.
Okay, his other thing that if they did, just say if they did make an FPS version of Dota, on a scale of 1 to 10, how far above 10 would that be on the success scale?
I think it's potential to be a 13.
11.5.
Okay, so it would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think there's a ton you could do with that.
All right. Well, 3, I have to go eat dinner. I'm dying of hunger, but I think that reasons A and B are pretty damn good. 4, okay, last question. With the emergence to mobile gaming, what is the longest that developers should expect a player to watch a cutscene or have to continuously interact with the game environment without pausing? 1 minute, more or less? What does this do to immersion and the ability to tell a story and gameplay? I think it depends on the cutscene and the story being told, because there's certain games where the cutscene is a total interruption and it's just you want to get past it. But there's other games where it's so fluid in with what was Uncharted 2, like those.
Yes.
There was hilarious parts, like in really good, like you didn't mind those at all because they didn't take you out of the experience, they added to it. So I think it all depends on how the cutscene is put in. In Ion, the cutscene's like, a blip. It's just like a little tiny piece of your next quest sometimes. And that was perfectly fine. It wasn't this huge interruption, but yet it added a lot to you paying attention to the quest you're about to go on. So I don't know. I think it all just depends on the game and how they do it.
I totally lost what we were talking about.
You're such an ass.
Were you watching a cutscene? We were talking about if cutscenes, when are they too long?
I know. I'm just fucking...
Yeah, I agree with that. Uncharted 2 had you playing towards, what's the next cutscene? But I think the ultimate testament to that is, and how well it's done, is Metal Gear Solid 4, where, I mean, those cutscenes could be 20 minutes plus.
They were damn long.
But they were awesome. I mean, I never once wanted to skip a cutscene I was watching. Maybe with Otacon, I would skip those things.
That part sucked, and the dude in the mobile ATV thing store.
Oh, yeah, with the monkey. That was ridiculous.
God, I wanted that to end.
But anything that had Liquid Snake or anybody, I was like, I'm on the edge of my seat watching that shit.
The actual core story stuff, not the let's fill you in on everything that you need to know to understand the actual cool cutscenes.
Yeah, I mean, those would be the one when because I do want to play through that game again because it's one of my all-time favorite games. I would skip those, but I didn't skip them the first time. I just wanted to see what happened, and everything was so
really
cinematic.
could though. You kind of needed to learn to listen to what they were talking about, but I didn't think that it was like terribly interesting.
No, but
that was me.
I'm usually I know my brother. I always think of the example whenever I'm watching a cutscene. I think 99% of cutscenes. Oh, he'd be skipping this shit. He does not watch anything. He is all about the gameplay. So I would always be interested in. I think I've asked him this before, and he said none. But I would like to know: is there a game that you like the cutscenes in, or like the actual story that you're playing through? And the only one he ever says that he loved the story in is Deus Ex. But I don't think that one really had cutscenes. I think that I've only played a little bit of that game, but I think that game is mostly told through the actual game.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with the Uncharted example. It's the first one to me that's come along that's been a perfect balance of cutscene and actual gameplay. If you want that cinematic experience, but I'm actually sitting here most of the time trying to think of what else that I just didn't want to cut through. And I've listened. I mean, I play through the games and stuff, but I can't think of anything that's really been gripping to me.
Maniac Mansion, Day of the Tentacle.
What was there? Yeah, I guess there was technically cutscenes in that. That was a badass game.
That's I think my probably number 2 game of all time.
That is a badass game.
I want to say thanks to Sark because that was probably the best, one of the best emails we've ever received.
Yeah, no, he had some great questions.
He did. We actually had some discussion and stuff. So
his actual one question made me think of. He said, "I have to go eat dinner. I'm dying of hunger." You guys ever remember being on the War Beta forums and what Rompel was going to eat?
Oh yeah, with Rompel's dinner, and like everyone was. I mean, that was like the longest post ever.
That thing had like 500 pages by the end. It was just like, "Hey, what should I eat?" And the great thing about that was, you would post something, and he would always post back, so it would be bumped. So like he would almost address everything that went on there, and then finally, when they closed down the War Beta forums, they deleted everything but that thread, and they said, "Rompel, everything is set. Rompel can now eat." When that was whatever the last post was,
really,
they left that. I thought that was really cool.
I did not know that. Cool.
Yeah, I gave multiple suggestions, and he did appreciate a few of them.
Well, gentlemen, no point in hanging around this dump any longer.
Wait! Where are you going? I was going to make a sprint.
Show's over, folks.
You can't go. All the plants are going to die.
Take off, eh?
Thanks for listening to Multiplaying, the companion podcast at multiplaying.net. Questions, comments, feedback, errors, etc. can be sent to multiplaying@gmail.com. We invite you to write a review on iTunes and visit our website at www.multiplaying.net.
We've made a lot of friends, shared a lot of laughs, often at the expense of others.
I think some people are going to be upset.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual.
Thank you and good night.
Multiplaying is a member of the Dead Workers Party Network. You can listen to this and many other fine podcasts at www.deadworkers.com/network.